everyone, myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is Mass Transfer Operations 2. So moving forward with this lecture, we will study about various other kind of distillation process that are steam distillation, azeotropic distillation and extractive distillation. First one is steam distillation. Now here, one of the important property of a liquid immiscible mixture is that, what is the meaning of first of all immiscible? It means they are not mixing together. Okay, for that kind of mixture which is not mixing it together, okay, if I am talking about A and B are immiscible, means when left in normal condition, okay, they will form different layers, not mixing together, hence both A and B will exist as a pure phases, and so the mole fraction of A and B would be 1. It means for that kind of mixture, your total vapor pressure is PS saturation, PSat plus PBsat. Okay, it is summation of mole fraction. So here the total vapor pressure is summation of pure phase vapor pressure. Okay, it is vapor pressure of your pure components. So I can say that my total vapor pressure would be more than that of individual pure component vapor pressure. Okay, if I am comparing it with the miscible solutions, okay, miscible liquid, if miscible solution is forming, then A and B will have a certain mole fraction. Okay, they are combining together, forming a single phase. In immiscible mixture, two phases are there. Okay, they are not mixing together, they are existing as separate phases, like talking about oil and water. Okay, oil would be in top, water would be beneath. The mole fraction of oil would be what? 1 only, because it's not mixing with water. So the total vapor pressure of that kind of system would be more than that of individual component vapor pressure. So that is the thing we are doing. We are decreasing the boiling point. It means we are increasing the vapor pressure of the solution by adding steam. So you will study further. So for that kind of mixture, bubble point of mixture would be lower than the boiling point of either of the A and B. Okay, boiling point of A would be different, B would be different, but the bubble point of this immiscible mixture would be less than individual's boiling point. So this property of immiscible liquid mixture is used in steam distillation. So what you do in steam distillation? Before that, let's have a look into it. It is used for what kind of system? Okay, a system in which okay, A is what? High boiling component. It is not highly volatile. Okay, its boiling point is very high. We are using steam distillation for the system in which one of the component is, which we have to separate out. It is high boiling component and is a mixture with a non-volatile impurity. Okay, so A is my high boiling component, C is the non-volatile impurity. B is what? Steam. Steam I am adding externally. So what I will do here, if we want to separate high boiling liquid A from C, then we use steam distillation. Normal distillation why I am not using? Because A can be thermally sensitive also, it may undergo cracking. Okay, so for that kind of system we use steam distillation. Live steam is blown through the liquid containing A. Okay, it is less volatile and has low solubility in water. So another parameter is, okay, it is used for system in which you have to separate out your high boiling component which is less volatile and is in a mixture with a non-volatile impurity. C is what? Non-volatile impurity which do not vaporize. Okay, so and it should be compulsorily not soluble with water. So what will happen? On adding water in mixture of A plus C, you create a homogeneous mixture with help of agitator. So here you can see the use of agitation. In first column you can see if I am not agitating it, okay, I am normally keeping my solution. Two phases are formed, A plus C and B. Okay, B is what? Steam which you are adding. A plus C is your initial solution which you have to treat. B is my steam, water which I am adding. So they are forming two different layers. Okay, so here if I am heating this kind of solution, then your total vapor pressure would be what? PBsat, because it is on the top. So it will vaporize first. But if I'm doing agitation, with help of agitation, what I'm doing, I'm trying to create a homogeneous mixture of A plus B plus C. Okay, though they are not getting miscible, but still they are forming a homogeneous mixture. On heating this homogeneous mixture, now my total vapor pressure would be what? PSat plus PBsat. Okay, so as agitation take place, what you're doing, now you're giving A and B both the chance to get heated and converted into vapor form. Okay, here your A and B are immiscible, so we take it directly into moles form. Immiscible is that it means they are not forming a homogeneous solution, they are not mixing together. Okay, so the mole fraction of water would be what? Pure, hence it would be 1. Similarly, mole fraction of your A would be what? 1 only, because B is not mixing it together. Okay, the important condition here what we discussed, what? That your water should not be miscible with A, okay, A and C solution. It should form a different layer, right? That was the important condition of steam distillation, that your A and B should not be miscible together. Okay, so you can say that moles of A upon moles of B is equal to vapor pressure of A upon vapor pressure of B. So this is the formula which you have to remember to solve the sums related to steam distillation, right? Because mole fraction of both steam and the initial solution is 1, they are not mixing together, hence we are directly taking the moles. What is the uses of steam distillation? Okay, now steam distillation is used for separating high boiling material. Okay, they are used for thermally unstable material, as then it is used for separation of essential oil. Of course, your essential oils, they are very sensitive to high temperature. For that reason, we use steam distillation. The condition is what? Steam should be immiscible with the initial solution. So you can see how essential oil extraction take place. Okay, you are subjecting your steam inside your steam. What does it do? It is of course immiscible with the oil in it. Okay, so because of the as you are injecting live steam, it is forming a homogeneous solution only. Okay, so your vapor pressure, your total vapor pressure has been increased up to very high level. It means at very small temperature also your vapor, your oil, it can vaporize. Okay, it can vaporize with the water, and it is then subjected to cooling tank, and that way you are separating your essential oil and water. The next type of distillation is azeotropic distillation. What is the condition of formation of azeotrope? It is when your relative volatility is equal to 1. It means the components of your solution both are equally volatile. That is the condition of azeotrope. Okay, so what do we do in azeotropic distillation? Now, to separate out component which is forming an azeotrope, what you try to do, you make another kind of azeotrope. So let's see how it is done. The first step is addition of entrainer. What is an entrainer? You are adding a third component here. Suppose for a mixture of A plus B, what I am doing, I am adding an entrainer, E, right? What kind of entrainer? This entrainer has activity coefficient greater than 1. We discussed in the section of non-ideality, when your activity coefficient is greater than 1. Okay, this leads to formation of low boiling azeotrope. Okay, it means it shows now positive deviation from ideality. Hence, what does it form? It forms a low boiling azeotrope. So now a new low boiling azeotrope is formed. Okay, azeotrope between A plus E has been formed. Okay, which is boiling at a lower temperature. So this boiling point of new azeotrope is less than of B. So you can see A plus B was my initial mixture. I added E. What does E do? E forms a new azeotrope with A, which is low boiling. Its boiling point is low now. Second step here is now vaporization. The low boiling point azeotrope which is now formed, of course, as it is low boiling, it means you will get it in as a top product. In bottom product you get B. So that happens in your vaporization step. Now the separation. The distilled A plus E, okay, it separates into as a two immiscible phase liquid. So you separate out your E and A. The desired condition was what here? We have to separate out as much as A possible. Okay, so the low boiling azeotrope which is now formed, A plus E, okay, the condition here is they must be immiscible. Okay, so after condensation, A is almost you get your pure A. And the E, okay, of course it would be having some traces of A. So that E rich phase, okay, the phase which is rich in E, entrainer, that is recycled back into your column. So you can see using an example, A plus B is my initial feed from which I have to separate A. So what I am doing, I am adding entrainer. Okay, entrainer has been added. Low boiling azeotrope has been formed. In top product you get your low boiling azeotrope, that is A plus E. A plus E on condensation, okay, as they are A and E are almost immiscible with each other, what will happen? A is taken out, okay, A rich phase and E rich phases are formed. So A rich phase is again sent to another column and E rich phase is recycled back to the column. In the bottom you get pure B. A rich phase, okay, it is rich in A but it has some traces of A, E also. Okay, again on distilling it, okay, in the bottom product you get pure A and your A plus E mixture, okay, which is again recycled back to the condenser. So that way you carry out your azeotropic distillation. The industrial example which you can see here is addition of benzene as an entrainer in the azeotrope of ethanol and water. But this is an example of ternary azeotrope. It means benzene forms azeotrope with both ethanol and water. Right? Now, from this you can see it is better that your entrainer forms azeotrope with only one component. If it forms azeotrope to both the components, then you can see from the figure also that one more distillation column you have to add it, right? So for that reason we try to take entrainer that kind of which makes low boiling azeotrope with only one component. Next one is extractive distillation. This distillation method is also used to separate those components which form azeotropes. The first step here is addition of solvent. Okay, instead of entrainer we are adding solvent here. First of all, what must be the property of solvent? That it should be miscible non-volatile component. Non-volatile component means it will of course come in the bottom part of the distillation column. What is the use of solvent here? What does this solvent do? Like unlike entrainer, what does entrainer did in azeotropic distillation was it forms another azeotrope, low boiling azeotrope. But here your solvent, it alters the activity coefficient. Okay, your solvent, it changes the activity coefficient of your initial feed. Suppose my feed is composing of A and B. Okay, A and B. So my solvent, what will it do? It will change the activity coefficient of A and B. So as activity coefficient changes, right? So because of that, your relative volatility will also change. What is the condition of azeotrope? Your relative volatility is equal to 1. Okay, so in extractive distillation, your solvent changes the activity coefficient, right? And because of change in activity coefficient, your relative volatility also changes. Okay, so either your relative volatility is now more than 1 or less than 1, but it is not equal to 1. So the purpose of solvent was to disturb alpha equal to 1 condition. Hence, it breaks the azeotrope. So you can see how relative volatility is associated with activity coefficient. Volatility of A is my partial pressure of A upon mole fraction of A. Okay, so this is the definition of your volatility. Similarly for B, I can say that partial pressure of B upon XB. So I can say my relative volatility as ratio of PA upon XA to PB upon XB. Okay. From equation you can see the relative volatility for my non-ideal system is now what? Gamma A PA sat upon gamma B PB sat. Okay. For ideal system, to use Raoult's law, for non-ideality we have introduced activity coefficient. Okay. So the partial pressure formula is what here? XA PA sat A gamma A and PB is XB PB sat gamma B. Okay. So for non-ideal I am using this equation. Hence a new parameter gamma A and gamma B has been introduced. So you can see now as my solvent has altered the activity coefficient, so relative volatility can also change now. Hence I can say that the solvent which has altered the activity coefficient gamma and gamma B of original component, okay, so because of that your relative volatility is now not equal to 1. It can be more than 1 or less than 1. The difference here between entrainer and solvent is what does your entrainer do in azeotropic distillation? That it forms a azeotrope. Your solvent, it does not form azeotrope with the original component. Okay, so in extractive distillation, you have to note down that your solvent will not form a azeotrope. So what must be the condition of solvent? It should be miscible, non-volatile component. Hence, it will come in the bottom. So you can see how your extractive distillation is done. Feed is what? A plus B. Okay. So as you are adding the solvent, okay, addition of solvent, what does it do? It will increase or decrease the relative volatility. So your A, which is more volatile, it will come in the top, and in the bottom you will get B plus C. Okay. We discussed earlier also your C, your solvent, it is what? Non-volatile. So hence it is forming a solution with B, and B plus C is again subjected to another column. Now here in B plus, here in the another column, your B plus C solution, it is now separated. In the top product, you will, in the top part you will get your B, and C, as it is non-volatile, you will get it in the bottom. So yes, again A plus B is feed, C is my miscible non-volatile solvent. So the industrial example is removal of cyclohexane and benzene using aniline as the solvent. What are the properties of solvent now? As we are using solvent here, so there are certain properties. First is it should be highly selective to enhance the relative volatility of system. Highly selective means it can be used for varied system. It should not be that, for example, that my C is only applicable for A plus B. Your C can also be used for other systems also. It should be less volatile. Of course, we don't want our solvent to lose, right? It should come in the bottom part only. Hence, it should be low volatile. Should not form azeotrope with any component. It should be inexpensive and easily available, and should be soluble and not form two-phase mixture. This is important. You can relate here with entrainer used in azeotropic distillation. What do? We try that your entrainer should be immiscible, so as it is easy to separate your more volatile component and your entrainer. Okay, but here it should be soluble. It should be easily separable from the bottom product. So these are the properties of your solvent which is used in extractive distillation. So that was for today's lecture. Thank you.